Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Technical Forum of Hydrogen and Fuel Cells Europe at the Hannover Fair 2022. I'm Bernhard Jekyll, I'm the moderator here for today, and we have a lot of great presentations about the newest technology. And the next presentation will be about ready for the hydrogen market ramp up, Fraunhofer Hydrogen Labs. And the speaker is, of course, from the Fraunhofer Institute. In this case, Fraunhofer Institute for Wind Energy Systems, IWES or IWES, the head of Hydrogen Labs and Field Tests. I welcome proudly, with an applause with you, Nora Denecke.
Thank you very much. So thank you for the introduction. And thank you for the opportunity to present to you our hydrogen labs that we have in Bremerhaven, Leuna and Görlitz. So just a very, very short introduction to the Fraunhofer Society. I think a few of you know this big research society in Germany. It's the largest one in Europe. And we do very industry near research. And the Fraunhofer IWES is focusing on validation of wind energy systems. So our main focus is on test benches and analysis in industrial scale. So we were founded in 2009, so we are a very young Fraunhofer Institute, and we have I think we can be proud of our growth within the last years. So we have now about 300 employees. What is our main spectrum? So we are coming from the wind energy side. As you can see, we do a site assessment for offshore wind parks, for example, but also for onshore wind resource analysis. We do the testing of full nacelles, and we do system reliability tests. We have a big test bench in Bremerhaven where we can put in full nacelles of wind turbines up to 8 or 10 megawatt production. We do field tests on wind energy turbines in field, so this is also an accredited laboratory and is also one part of my department. So we do power performance and load tests on wind turbines for certification. And we do qualification of composites and materials. We have a big blade test rig in Bremerhaven where we can test blades up to a length of 100 meters. We are in Hamburg, so we are decentralized. In Hamburg we have a big test rig for the blade, so I'm missing the word. The blade bolts and also the hole where the blade is fixed to the nacelle. And in Bremerhaven too, at the same test rig where we do the nacelle testing, we do electrical tests of wind turbines, so power quality. And we have a big grid emulator with a power of 44 megawatts. And in Hannover, so the next side we have a test rig for support structures, for offshore support structures for offshore wind turbines. And at the beginning of the year, we bundled our activities over the whole Fraunhofer Society for the hydrogen test labs that I will present to you within the next slides. And we gained colleagues from Leuna and Görlitz, where we also are building up test rigs for electrolyzers and the whole periphery. So what are the Fraunhofer Hydrogen Labs activities? So we cover everything from microstructures, from testing of the material of stacks, of lab scale cell testing, but then also lab scale stack testing up to 50 kilowatts, but also pilot scale testing, stack testing up to 2 megawatts. So we have balance of plants up to 2 megawatt stack capability, and we have the system level testing of full systems up to in the multi-megawatt scale. So our opportunity is that we can find the reason for problems or challenges we have in the industrial scale, in the small scale, and vice versa, so that we can profit from these different scales. As you heard already in my introduction, we are very decentralized, and as you can see, we have now the hydrogen lab in Leuna. This is in the middle of the chemical triangle in eastern Germany. And there we have the possibility to test full systems like electrolyzers or fuel cells. And we are connected with the Linde pipeline to the big Leuna chemical park. Then we have in Bremerhaven, where I'm also cited, the big hydrogen lab focusing on the coupling directly with wind, as we are a wind institute coming from the, I always say wind direction because it sounds so funny. And also all challenges that are generated by these circumstances that you have very volatile power production from wind turbines. And in Görlitz, we will also build up a hydrogen lab with a focus on industrial decarbonization for the full-scale industry. So first a few words. I think I have to speed up a little bit already. So in Leuna, we have also an analytics group that is looking into the really micro scales, and we do benchmarking of new materials and components, feedstock and product trace analysis and structure function analysis. But we also have this industrial scale testing, also with focus on validation and certification, and we have test rigs for full electrolyzers up to 5 megawatt power. And stacks up to 46 kilowatts in a balance of plant. And testing of all this periphery we have for having a working electrolyzer system with storage, compressors, and so on. And additional to that, we have, as we are cited in a big chemical park, also PTL pilot projects for methanol and e-fuels. And we have the opportunity to have real-world conditions as the hydrogen is directly used in the chemical park. Here you can see a picture, so the test rigs are already available for our customers that want to do some standardized or whatever custom-specific tests on their components. This is just, I think I will just lose a few words. So you can see we have four so-called DOT pads. We call it like this because it's device under test pads, where you can just use all the already pre-installed infrastructure for the different medias you need for the operation of your device. And additional to that, we have a technical center where we have the small stack rigs inside. Then we have the Hydrogen Lab Bremerhaven, and there we have three different foci. So more or less we have all this industrial scale, but we have different foci on the different test rigs. So we are focusing on the integration in local energy grids and local usage of the hydrogen, also with storage and logistics. And our main focus is contribution to validation and certification. As I mentioned before, we already have a big experience in wind industry for ISC certification and standardized tests. And we want to transfer our know-how also to electrolysis and hydrogen industry. We have an independent test bench for dynamic load and performance and degradation. We are directly connected to our Dynalab. So I said before we have a 44 megawatt grid emulator, and our test rig is directly connected to that. So we can do different grid tests, frequency variations, as you also have if you are directly connected to a wind turbine. And Another focus for us is the offshore integration. So what are the challenges coming from direct offshore production of hydrogen, for example? What is possible, what is economic, and what is technical feasible, as we have a big experience in offshore wind industry. As you can see, we have a more or less closed circle here. We are producing our own power, but we have also the possibility to have power directly from the grid. And we have not only 2 megawatt electrolyzers installed but we also have a fuel cell and combined heat and power. Here you can see a sketch of the infrastructure. So we are now in the permit process for this, and we will start building up the whole infrastructure. So the planning is completed, and we will, I hope, be in operation in the mid of 2023, and then we can also offer services to our customers. What you can see, maybe this is also interesting, just a very short word for that, we are part of the H2 Mare project. It's a very big German research project, and we are in Bremerhaven doing the desalination by using the heat of the PEM electrolyzers for direct offshore electrolyzers. And last but not least, we have the Hydrogen Lab Görlitz. This is together with the IWES, another Fraunhofer institute, and we are doing this together with Siemens, also having a very big infrastructure for testing. We will be in operation also in 2023 with installed power capabilities up to 20 megawatts, but also this balance of plant for stacks up to 2 megawatt capacity. So I think I was a little bit too long, but now thank you for your attention.
You were absolutely perfect, right in time.
Thank you.
Thanks. Wait.
Yeah.
Thanks for this interesting presentation. I'm sure you could tell much more of the institute and the work, and it's a whole bunch of information there.
Yeah.
So maybe we have time for 1 or 2 questions. If there are 1 or 2 questions right now, you have the chance to ask Nora Denecke here on stage.
You are also cordially welcome to visit us on our booth. So we are.
It's 78-1. So if there are questions during the day, you're invited to come to 78-1.
Yes,
Thanks a lot.
I will be there.
Thanks a lot, Nora Denecke.
Thank you. Bye.